What's going on, guys? Adam again, back with Atomic Garage, and today, guys, we are going to finally be putting together the harness for the Hall effect sensor for my 1995 BMW 318 Ti, and it is turboed. And I've been having a lot of sync issues. So in order for me to build a harness for the Hall effect sensor conversion that I'll be doing, we will be reviewing the connector kit that I bought off of Amazon for a little over $17. All coming up in this video. So here we are, guys, and we've got different things laid out that we're going to go over to. Again, as the intro stated, this is a Hall effect sensor, and I'm converting my BMW that uses a VR sensor for crankshaft input into the ECU position. I'm switching it to Hall effect. It's less finicky, it's less prone to interference and things like that. So we're going to go over the parts. We're going to talk about the connector kit that I bought from Amazon. And then we're going to put this to the test by actually building one and seeing basically how does it go. So here we have it, guys, and we're going to go from left to right and see what we are working with today. So we're going to start off with some diagonal cutters and some crimpers, and that is going to help kind of pinch those pins into place. We've got our Hall effect sensor, and actually I bought it directly from the vendor and saved about 25-30 bucks getting it directly from the vendor as opposed to getting it from DIY Auto Tune or Summit or anything like that. So fun little fact. Also, we've got the connectors that we're going to be using for this project here. And we've got the connector kit itself, which has got over 200 pieces. Now, it has single connectors, it's got double connectors, triple connectors, and quad connectors, 4 connectors. And what this Amazon posting boasted about was the fact that it was supposed to be weatherproof, as it were. So there's all the other pieces that are needed to make sure that the seals and the connection is tight and water resistant. We've got our pins, male and female, and we've got the overall plastic case that it all comes in. So let's talk about this kit real quick. The exact price of this connector kit, 1 through 4 pin connector kit, was $17.97, which is really cheap. And it was from a brand called UTS Auto, all one word, UTS Auto. And I will show a picture of the listing over what we're talking about. And so far, initial impressions of this kit doesn't seem to be bad. Now, I will say that when you pick up a few connectors, you will see that there's a little bit of excess material that's still on there. I don't know if you can see that thread-like stuff, and it's on a few of them, but it's not bad. I think the biggest downfall of this $18 kit, and maybe I'm just being nitpicky, is the fact that this case is the cheapest, most flimsy case I have ever laid my eyes on, guys. Like, these little dividers can be lifted up and stuff, and I know it's supposed to be to allow you to reconfigure and adjust, but again, it's 274 individual pieces all being pushed and crammed inside of here. So it's not going to be a flat fit. You're going to have to kind of jam it, cram it to get it to close. So that's one downside of it. But what we're going to do in order to get a better understanding of if this Amazon $18 connector kit that's supposed to be universal for cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, and everything alike, we're going to put this to the test by actually using it with this shielded cable that we have, using it with this Hall effect sensor that we have, and we're going to try and build a harness, and then we're going to put another connector on the ECU's wiring itself, and we're going to see if it actually works. And if it does good and everything connects really good, then we'll know we have something good. Hopefully so. But it's only 18 bucks, so we'll see. Let's see if we will be surprised or not. 2 other honorable mention tools that I'm gonna be using here is my flush mount electrical wire snips. These are by Klein Tools, and this thing was, I don't know, maybe almost 20 bucks, and it's absolutely worth it for electrical work, harness building, things like that. And just a super cheap stripper, crimper, all that goodness. Kind of got to loosen up the nut to kind of make it, work the best for you and not just be tough and tight. So now we're going to go ahead and keep moving forward. We've already shortened the wire. Now we're going to go ahead and strip everything back and start rolling. So I was going to originally make a connector for the Hall effect sensor side, and then do a connector here to plug in, and then ultimately do an end here as well that's going to go to the ECU wire. But I feel like if my main goal is to try and make sure I get no noise into this system, as it were, multiple connection points leads to multiple points of failure. And even though I'm trying to review this Amazon 274 piece automotive connector kit, I want to make sure that I am doing the best I can to isolate noise out of the system. So I think I'm going to solder these connections together, but still do a connector on the other end and join it with the wiring that's on the standalone ECU. So let's keep rolling. All right, so I've got the wires stripped off, and now we're going to start putting them on with these female pins. And the main thing that I've learned to do is the actual wire, there's the shielding, the color. So let's say I'm using this purple one. The actual outside layer of this wire needs to go in this final tab that's got the long ears on it. And the bare wire can be on from there forward. And all it does is it gives the wire and the connector more surface area to be able to grab onto. So I'm going to put these on, then install it in this connector and see how the fit and finish is. One thing that I really do like about this connector kit is the fact that on each one of them, it's got like a number. I don't know if you can see it, where it says 1, 2, or 3, and you can correspond that with the male version end of the plug. So that way you always have it correct, and you don't have to say which direction was I looking from? Was I looking forward and it's on the left? You don't have to worry about none of that. 1 on this and 1 on this, male and female, it automatically lines up. So that's another thing that I like. So we're going to keep plugging away on it. So we finally was able to install the first one, and it didn't come out bad, though. If you look really close, the middle plug is pushed further in and the other two on the outside aren't. And I was really trying to get like a clean look from the sheathing and the wire being very little wire exposed to go inside of this connector, but this is the best I could get it. But when I tried to put the male in, it goes good. There's no movement back and forth and stuff like that, so I think it'll be just fine. Just know that when you are connecting these connectors into here, the main thing to know is to make sure you leave enough room between the sheathing or whatever you're using and the wire, so that way you can have a little wiggle room to push that wire a little bit further in, because you will hear like a little audible click sound. But I think this turned out pretty good. We're going to do the same thing on the car. We'll connect it and we'll check that connection and see how that is. But honestly, guys, I'm actually quite surprised at how good it actually was. I was expecting things to be a little bit looser and for there to be more casting or molding issues. And so far, I haven't experienced that. Now, that is only one connector, so that doesn't have a whole bunch to go off of. But when I continue to try a couple others, I haven't had any issues. When I looked through here and picked up several different ones and checked the fit and finish of it, everything appeared to be good. So I feel like that aspect of it as well is, for the most part, really good as well. So off camera, I'm going to go ahead and throw the other connector on the car, and we'll see how that goes. Well, guys, unfortunately, I couldn't keep going because I'm getting rained out on, but I was able to continue building the other harness, the other connector, and test and see how good it is. And so far, guys, again, I'm pleasantly surprised with how well this is doing. Now I know this whole thing looks pretty jank or whatever. I've got some resistors and all that stuff that's got to go on for the Hall effect sensor to work, since I'm running it off of 12 volts, but that's neither here nor there. The main thing we're talking about is the connector kit, and that connector kit, I must say, has been working pretty good. I'm really surprised. So I'm going to keep going and plugging away and do some other connectors plugging away. That was pretty ingenious. I didn't even think of it. But we're going to keep plugging away and put connectors on several different other wires to kind of clean up my harness and everything like that. But so far, I'm really surprised with how well it really is. So guys, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Tell me how I can improve my content, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.